We're going to be going live right now. Yes, I believe we are. Boom! We are alive, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today. What a wild ride. GameStop, Robinhood, and Wall Street Bets. This has got to be one of the most impressive stories in market history that I have ever seen. I have been dabbling around and learning how the markets work for nearly a decade now, and I want to give a big congratulations to Wall Street Bets for really showing the truth of CompMan. I had said this before in other videos, but we together represent CompMan. One of Richard Wyckoff's greatest heuristics was showing that there are these big market players behind the scenes who basically can accumulate and distribute stocks and basically make that profit off of the retail investor. And for the first time, the retail investor striked back. And oh my God, we got to stop the retail investors from driving up prices. It's manipulation. What people have failed to realize for a very long time is that markets have nothing to do with the underlying asset whatsoever. Buying and selling pressure on a market stock, whether it's an asset like an Amazon or Tesla or Google, a Bitcoin, a Doge, it doesn't matter. If you're buying, stock price go up. If you're selling, price go down. And the interesting part about this is I think it's really reviving the retail investor's strength in what they're capable of doing. Wall Street Bets. Okay, let's dive in. Let's take a look at some of these charts first, because I think it's going to be important to go over more of the technical aspects of this later. But we're going to dive in and look straight at the charts. So on the screen here, you should be able to see GameStop. Now, this is a really long conversation, so please bear with me, as it's going to take a little bit of time to get through everything because it is complex in its nature, but some of the heuristics and the data behind this are very simple. First off, a big due to Robinhood trading for banning people for only being able to sell. If that isn't market manipulation, I don't know what is. This is some of the grossest misuse of power I have ever seen, and it goes as high as the NASDAQ spokesperson, Adina, whatever her last name is. Absolutely atrocious. I also want to give a big round of applause to Chamath for also speaking up for the little guy and going through the learning lesson of really understanding what's going on. Now, first and foremost, don't buy GameStop. Right? These are actually fairly advanced traders who are using options, puts, and calls. They're not even buying the underlying asset. What they found in GameStop was a discrepancy in the sell pressure. Now, first off, it is absolutely atrocious that you can have big funds that are basically picking on a mom and pop store like GameStop, who's just trying to make a modest living selling video games to people, and during the middle of a pandemic having an even more difficult time because in a lot of places in different states they can't even open their fucking doors. That in itself should be looked down upon as one of the grossest misuse of monetary power in history. They've done this to many companies as well. Oh, in the height of the pandemic, oh, you make movies and movie theaters are never going to be open again. We're going to short sell you, making it even more difficult for you to come back. This is, again, some of the grossest misuse of monetary power that we have ever seen by the financial institutions, and the retail investors fought back. I am so proud of the retail investors. This crack in the dam leads directly to things like Bitcoin and Ethereum and decentralization and the transparency and the nature of trading to begin with. So let's go over this conversation, and we'll do it by looking at the charts. First off, do not buy this GameStop. Don't buy it right now. Makes no sense. Even the majority of people who were doing a lot of the market moving, they were using options. Options is a very advanced form of trading for those people that know how to do it, and I'll basically break it down into a layman's term. You're using a volatility curve of X through Y and time and volatility. So if I buy a price spread of this particular option, call or put is to the downside, call is to the upside. If I buy a particular call of the price of the stock going up this much, you can make enormous amounts of money without ever having to own the underlying stock. And effectively, this is how they were short selling GameStop. They weren't actually selling the original stock. There was discrepancies that were going on between the GameStop's actual operating stock, let's say there was 100,000, and the sell side of that operating stock, where they were using through basically either leverage trading or more likely and most often options trades as well, which is you don't actually have to buy the underlying stock, which is likely why there was a 43% discontinuity between the amount of GameStop that there was, geez, that's a mouthful, and the 143% short sell that was taken out by these bigger market players. It didn't take much to break that 143% short sell because there was an obvious discrepancy. And this is what happened. These people, and I think they picked a fantastic, and I don't know who these people are. These are a lot of people from Reddit, and we'll go over some of this. they're using advanced volatility options on calls to make their money. They weren't buying the underlying asset. They found that weakness of that 43% discrepancy between, again, the original stock and what was available on the market. And they knew they could basically break that with very little buy pressure on the stock itself. And they did. Okay. They also went after AMC and Express and Bed Bath & Beyond. And what you can see here is you had these massive run-ups of price. 1,000% on Express. You had 600% on AMC, and I think 1,600% on GameStop at its peak. Yeah, no, 1,000% on GameStop at its peak. The reason why this is important to understand, again, is because most average traders, and I apologize by saying this, but most retail traders don't even have the advanced knowledge to use options. But this is most likely how these plays were really executed. The other buying pressure by people buying on, say, Robinhood was also the ability to really drive that further market pressure and just absolutely hurt the bigger players. Now, again, these three, and I think there's a few more, are important to recognize, not because I think you should be buying them, but because it's the understanding of how markets work. Markets, again, literally work by buying and selling pressure. It is not market manipulation. So let's go over and take a look at the rest of this madness, because what's going on is absolutely despicable. First off, Robinhood, fuck you. This is disgusting. For someone that says democratizing finance for all, you've done a piss poor job of actually upholding the front end portion of your entire goddamn mission statement. You deserve to go bankrupt. So on the bright side, I'm happy to see the start of Robinhood customers start to sue the trading app, and I hope to God that this becomes a class action lawsuit, because it is unacceptable that they can just say, oh, well, you can only sell, when the big market institutions and players have done the exact same thing to retail traders for time immemorial. They're basically like, oh, well, let's protect these big hedge funds like Citadel and Melvin because they have all this more money, and they're the ones that pay off the SEC regulators anyway with the slap in the wrist fines that they get for breaking these fucking rules, where if you break those rules, they'll throw you in jail for life because it costs hundreds of millions of dollars to pay for those lawyers and fight those fines. So, you Robinhood, that's first thing we'll go over. Second thing, BlackRock made $2.4 billion, so one of the world's biggest hedge funds, also played in this frenzy. So very quickly, BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, could have made gains of around $2.4 million as investors pour money into the video game shares. The asset manager owned around 9.2 million shares, or roughly a 13% stake as of December 31st, 2020. Kind of oddly timed, wouldn't you think? Just a few weeks ago? What about these big players? They're still allowed to buy and sell their price. Get real here. This is absolutely atrocious. And what it gets even sicker, NASDAQ CEO suggests to halt trading to allow investors to recalibrate their positions after GameStop surge. These people are absolutely despicable in a time when the retail investor should be applauded for actually realizing how the markets work and how they've been at a disadvantage their entire time because of these bigger funds' ability to push the markets around. You have little cunts like this. I'm going to definitely not be able to monetize this video. You have little cunts like Adina Frieden who says this exactly. And this is a quote. This is a quote, right? We're halting trading to investigate the possible market manipulation to allow investors to recalibrate. What kind of shit-ass nonsense is this? I think that in general, when we evaluate how we would manage the situation, you would see a significant run-up in stock, not based on news, not based on fundamentals. So what we do have is technology that evaluates social media chatter. So they're basically telling us they're going to spy on social media chatter and look for the times when we as retail investors can collaborate to actually do what we want to the markets, which is exactly what the big players do. There's no difference here. It's a rule for them and a rule for you. And if you're not upset about this, I have absolutely no idea what you're doing in this place right now. This should upset you to the deepest core of your body if you are in the markets and know how this game works. Even if you're on BlackRock's side, if you're an investor like Chamath, I want to follow again quickly. I want to give a shout out to Chamath. And Ehrman Grumer and a few others who made some great tweets here. If you go to, I'll post this, I posted the link in the video descriptions below. This is a fantastic conversation with Chamath Palihapitiya of Social Capital, where he basically destroys one of the interviewers on what is it, CNBC or something, who knows absolutely nothing about markets. Like, well, don't you think that these people should know that the underlying value of GameStop is not fundamentally worth anything? It doesn't matter. Speculation has never been important for the underlying asset's value. Amazon ran at a loss for all decades, and their price continued to go up. Well, why is that? If people see value in something and they want to acquire that stock, that's their prerogative to do so. These people don't even know how market works. I don't even think Adina understands how these market works, and she's the CEO of NASDAQ. These people deserve to be removed from their position. So again, these links are below. I've shared them on my Twitter. I suggest you go follow and read them. This stuff is absolutely disgusting. And for the first time, oh my God, Alexandria Cortez. I'm not a big socialist or a Democrat. I'm not even a Republican or a liberal. Personally, I think there should be less government. Like just in general, less government, less regulations. Let the community take care of their own fucking shit. Because we can already see some people like to smoke ganja, some people don't. Well, if those people want to smoke ganja over on the left-hand side here, you let them do that. And if they don't, they can go over there and not smoke ganja in the right-hand side of the table. It doesn't make a difference. People should be allowed the freedoms to express themselves personally. And for the first and foremost, aside from the politics that I just wanted to get aside there, this is a brilliant. I agree. This is unacceptable. We now need to know more about Robinhood's decision to block retail investors from purchasing stock while hedge funds are freely able to trade the stock as they see fit. And as a member of the Financial Center's CMTE, I'm supporting a hearing if necessary. Yes, these motherfuckers should not be allowed to operate anymore. Robinhood, you're going down. What you did is absolutely disgraceful. And again, for those of you that don't know, Wall Street Bets. This is another really exciting portion of this area. Now, again, all of this, guys, is going to lead to Bitcoin and Ethereum eventually. And even at this current moment, you're seeing Dogecoin move. And what I love about this is that you have brilliant people in Wall Street Bets. I took the time to read through here. And again, you have advanced investors, advanced, intelligent people on these forums. Actually, Reddit has always been full of advanced, intelligent people sharing their thoughts and openly, like, let's say, debating the conversation around what something may or may not be. So I joined Wall Street Bets. I think is absolutely amazing conversations going on here. And more importantly, it's a great place to learn. The markets are a pretty advanced thing, aside from just the idea of like, oh, buy, market up, sell, market down, which is basically the layman's explanation. And it does work like that. Things like options, things like leverage trade the way those markets work. Because if I have $100 billion and let's say I go leverage long 50x, and now I have $5 trillion, I can do anything to any market. What the big boys have gotten really good at doing is manipulating the market slowly. So they accumulate lots of it before they mark the price up and then dump on the retail investor. That's literally everything we study in this group about Wyckoff's trading ranges, is understanding that huge funds accumulate in a small area, and then they mark the price up by buying a shit ton and sell on top of the retail investor. They're basically complaining that the retail investor finally figured out that they could collaborate to do the same thing that the fucking funds do. And together we are stronger. This will go, everything of this is leading into a decentralized form of finance and governance, because the people are the power, not the government. The government shouldn't have any power over you. It's you the people. When you collaborate together, you overthrow governments, you overthrow banking and financial institutions. This has happened in many countries before, and we may very well be on the verge of this dam breaking. And when it floods into the entire decentralization sector. So I'm very, very excited about this. This is the coolest thing I have, again, seen in market history. And that means I think it even to some degree supersedes Bitcoin. Like, Bitcoin's amazing technology, but the retail investor just realized they're in control. And the only thing stopping them right now are these regulators who make different rules for their buddies and pals, and then the different rules for the people who are just openly collaborating transparently on the internet. It is, again, absolutely atrocious. So first off, again, don't buy GameStop. Don't buy AMC or any of these plays right now. Wall Street Bets is full of very advanced traders who are mostly using options trading, which you can limit your exposure. I'll try to explain this. For those of you that haven't, please read Nassim Taleb's books. They're absolutely fantastic. But options trading is an advanced mathematical derivative that uses volatility through time. So I could buy an option call. Again, up, calls are up, puts are for the downside, like a short, basically. Puts are shorts, calls are longs. That's the easiest way to explain it in terms of leverage. And if I buy this and I think I'm going to get an out of the money call for like 2 weeks ago on GameStop, when GameStop was like $12 for $300. If you had done that, you could have made tens of millions of dollars by maybe only ever risking 100 or a few hundred thousand, right? And that's a big difference. They're not buying spot. They're playing with these very complex mathematical derivatives. Go look up what options is. You'll be mind bending. Listen to Nassim Taleb's talks about volatility trading, because Nassim Taleb is well, I don't know if he trades as much anymore, but he was a lifelong options trader, and it's not just buying stock. It's using these advanced mathematical volatility derivatives to play in your advantage, so you're only risking a set amount and never exposed to the real asset. And that's again what the Wall Street bet characters were taking advantage of, is the fact that all these big institutions had oversold the stock by 43% and nobody had noticed. And it would have been very easy for them to make a shit ton of money by collaborating together, because there was something broken in the system. And what was broken in the system is not the retail traders being able to collaborate. It's the fact that these big fucking funds were taking advantage of a mom and pop store in the middle of a goddamn pandemic. I can definitely not use YouTube AdSense for today's video. Okay. Silver is another one of these who have been hit under the gun of what we call naked shorting or naked selling, where we don't actually know what the price of silver should be because it's been basically held down by options contracts for a very long time. Now, silver is a little bit different because we don't actually know how much silver there is. We're constantly mining more, and the product cost is based off how much we can execute the extraction of the silver. I don't like mining in general, but we need it for technology. Anyway, it's a much longer conversation about silver. Unimportant. But where I think this is going is the crypto sector. So here's Dogecoin. Dogecoin, as if you've been following Wall Street Bets, if you've been paying attention to people like Elon Musk, Dogecoin is a meme coin. And what I like about Doge, and I made a tweet earlier that said, oh, I wonder if it'll be funny if Dogecoin flips Bitcoin effectively, right? Because right now, what people don't understand is the reason Bitcoin's price is so high is because institutional people are buying it, right? Same story. The difference is if people want to decide to use Dogecoin, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with using Litecoin instead. If the people want to pick the money that they want to use, that will become the money, even if it is a meme coin. And that's what I love about 2021. Meme markets to the fucking moon. Like meme moon markets. This is the shit that people need to understand, is that's literally how markets work. It is simply about buy and sell pressure, and they are proving it now on a massive media scale. Look at Dogecoin. Okay, so here's Doge again, up 200%. Wait, I should actually get to spread my screen out here, otherwise I don't know how. 200% today alone. So here's from earlier today at 21:45. Up 231% on Dogecoin. What the retail investor has learned is that they are comp man. If they want to collaborate together, they can move markets. And if they're going to block them from doing so in the fucking regulated NASDAQ, will let our big boys have different rules than the rest of you, they will come to Bitcoin, they will come to Ethereum, and apparently they'll go to fucking Dogecoin, because it doesn't matter what the market, the fundamentals have never mattered. I've said this in all of my videos. I'm like, look guys, underlying fundamentals don't actually mean jack shit. It's all about buy and sell pressure. Like how good Bitcoin is doesn't actually mean anything. If people want to use Dogecoin, that will become super fucking valuable because of that buy pressure. And they're proving that right now. It's one of the most difficult things to understand about a market is to basically take away your idea that, are they selling products? Do they have earnings? Are they profitable? Who's their CEO? What are their quarterly reports? None of that fucking matters. It never has mattered. The underlying asset of a stock is illiquid. If I have 100,000 stocks, say for a bear, and you want to buy those, and it's a fairly illiquid market, even a little bit of market pressure will jack the price up. It's in their best interest to actually focus on something like Dogecoin because it's not already a multi-$100 billion market. It's easier for them to move, and the retail investors can accumulate, get their way in, and they can help make each other more rich. Now, again, the downside is now you have retail investors dumping on other retail investors, but at least it's not the fucking hedge funds. It's not people that have trillions of dollars who do nothing useful for the economy. Whoever was shorting GameStop does nothing useful for the economy. All they do is move money from one place to another place. This is into itself almost unethical if you think about it. Stock market movement is literally just the movement of money. Nothing of value is being created there. The only thing it does is give the capital potential. Like take Elon Musk. I fucking love Elon Musk. Beautiful entrepreneur who's trying to disrupt all these different industries, right? And actually, let's use Tesla as an example here. Because I think it's another great example, at least on a visionary scale, right? Because Tesla has some underlying fundamentals that are extremely beautiful. right? You've got Elon Musk. You want to invest in people that are looking to disrupt markets through deflationary technology that help everyone. Look how high up we are in Tesla already. So this is how big players work. Big players will spend 2 to 3 years accumulating a stock. And actually even before that too, technically Tesla's accumulation period has started way back here, like $8 back in 2012, 2013. So here's your primary accumulation range, way the fuck down here. And what do? They buy in small amounts on a daily basis so they don't disrupt the market price too much, because they want to get as much of that stock as the lowest price as possible so they can jack it up and then sell onto retail investors, and then jack it up and then sell onto retail investors, and then do the whole process over and over and over again. That's literally how these big hedge funds have made their millions, is by jacking the price up through buying and then selling on top of the unsuspecting retail investors who get emotional about the price going up and usually end up buying at the exact fucking wrong time because they don't have enough money to buy in the middle of a pandemic. I'm so stoked and so happy for what Wall Street Bets has done here. It is the greatest thing I have seen in market history. And I'm a young lad, but this is the best thing I've ever seen. So let's take Tesla as an example, right? Tesla has been marked up. And what the big funds do, and what was nice about Tesla is you actually had more average retail investors, people like myself, who are like, I really believe in Elon Musk. I like this crazy weird motherfucker who's willing to put his name and his money on the line to try to disrupt industries that are age-old, battered, oil companies, telecommunications ideas, solar. Let's disrupt everything. Let's see if we can do a better version of making products. And he's been very successful at it because people believe in him. They believe in the idea of making this world a better place. And this is going to become a huge wave of 2020. The 2020s, I think, is going to be the dam breaking and people realizing that we need to do better in business. You can't just be making money from buying and selling stock. So on the plus side is when the price of Tesla goes up, Elon Musk can sell parts of his shares to the bigger funds, the retail investors, and he can reinvest that money into building better products, better Tesla cars, opening SpaceX, investing more into the Boring Company. And that's like the big plus side is if companies like Tesla, where you have visionaries, are being invested in by these players, they can sell that stock and reinvest it into building and trying new ideas and taking bigger risks. Okay, so this is the most exciting moment I've seen in stock market history, and I believe inevitably it's going to come home to roost in Bitcoin. So for those of you that are new to this channel, Bitcoin and Ethereum are the market leaders, okay? They've fundamentally been around for a long time. They hold the most promise, and I invest in them on a monthly basis. What we do here is we like to look at trading ranges. So for those of you that might be jumping in the channel just because of the GameStop action, we like to study Richard Wyckoff, who built the heuristic of comp man, the literal idea of what hedge funds do to screw over you, the retail investor. It was proposed in the first time in the 1930s, and I suggest studying Richard Wyckoff's composite man, or who we call here comp man. Bitcoin is currently in an area of reaccumulation right now in the bottom part of its box in what's known as, again, a reaccumulation phase. So I didn't really prepare for the second part. I just wanted to go. I was so excited about. Thank you guys for letting me be passionate and yell and swear through the screen as well, by the way. It's just. So what we're studying in general right now is reaccumulation. So I believe right now what we're witnessing is a large reaccumulation area for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. I've gone over this multiple times. We even did a kind of a derision, a conjecture-based study yesterday to talk about the potential. Ethereum and Bitcoin have an openly transparent model. It is, for the most part, it was actually not picked up by hedge funds in the beginning. It was early weirdos on Reddit, which is, again, congrats to Reddit for helping bring light to some of the coolest tech shit on the planet. So these areas of reaccumulation, accumulation, again, if you're new here, you're here because of the GameStop study. I'm kind of like abruptly throwing new information at you, but we like to study markets on a daily basis because we can actually see what the hedge funds are doing through this type of market analysis. And we become better and better at making more advantageous trades and investments because we know where we are in the markets. Right now, Bitcoin and Ethereum represent the most beneficial investment, in my mind, in the crypto sector. There are others in the venture capital sector, like we've gone over Avalanche, Polkadot, Band, Link, and a few others. You can diversify, but think asymmetry. Think if I put $1,000 in, it can go to zero, but it could go to like 1,000 times higher. That's what most of this sector is like. Bitcoin and Ethereum are the only two, and now Link, in my mind, the only three that have like earned themselves a top position in this market. And I believe they will stick around for a lot more time. So because we have so many live people on the stream right now, and some of you are probably new, give us a thumbs up, guys. The more thumbs up we get, the more people will get to see me passionately ranting, yelling, screaming, and swearing at the bigger hedge funds, because I'm sure everyone wants to see that. And remember to like or subscribe and hit the little notification bell, because for this year, we're going to be going live every day. Every day, one live, even no matter what happens, I'm going to be going live. Even if I had to do from a cell phone in the back of a freaking cop car or something ridiculous, I highly doubt that will happen. So Bitcoin to me looks like it's in a smaller area of a reaccumulation phase right now. I think that we're going to break out above this around 34,000, and then we're going to very quickly run to 41,000. We'll probably see another big reaccumulation that will take us into March. We will get stuck at the top of this trading range and we'll blow up. So let me repeat that again. We're going to probably rip to around 40 grand over the next 2 weeks. We're going to drop back down to 34,000, and we're going to rip much, much higher afterwards. This is what reaccumulation looks like, and it's being done right now on a daily basis by the big players. Now, again, if you want to follow us in some of this information, you could do so by going over to Twitter. Some of the ways we look at this is just by following, we watch big players like Grayscale, who is on a systematic basis accumulating more and more Bitcoin and Ethereum. So I want to look at this right now and just point out to some of you that may not have noticed this. First off, Grayscale has the most of their holdings are in Bitcoin. The second largest holding is in Ethereum. Now, what they've done here is they've put Grayscale Bitcoin Cash Trust in alphabetical order. So I hope you would notice 3,764 million is bigger than 101 million. Just be aware. Bitcoin and Ethereum are Grayscale's biggest holdings, and they are buying hundreds of millions of dollars and billions of dollars worth of these assets on a yearly basis. They now hold $3.7 billion in Ethereum and $20 billion in Bitcoin, and a measly 100 million in Bcash, Trash, Ethereum Class, Horizon. None of them even come close. The Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund is a really interesting one, but that's a topic for another discussion. So back to our charts. Again, Ethereum looks like is right in the prime areas. If we go a little closer here on the 1 hour, you can see we've stubbed up against our point of control. We hit it beautifully, bang, 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 and then instantly broke up. And now we're hitting the top part of our trading range. We may actually see a new trading range form here before a big breakout. This is likely the case now. I do suspect we're going to see a really nice horizontal trading range form here or here. The markets are going to tell us. Let's not try to front run it by guessing. I'm just going to wait. I'd entered a nice leverage play here, and I got stopped out in profits here. I haven't re-entered yet. Yesterday, I was driving from the city. You can watch my Don't Watch This vlog video because, I like to tell stories. Okay. Again, the importance of understanding what's happening in GameStop right now is that retail investors are going to come flooding into this market because it's the only place they can't ban trading. And more importantly, what it does is it highlights the importance of tokens like Uniswap, where they can't stop you from trading. It doesn't matter where you live, what you do, what your background is, you can trade on Uniswap. You can trade almost anything on Uniswap. There's hardly any regulation around. Now, that may change, and I don't suggest you try to break regulations or anything. You don't want to get thrown in jail unless you've got hundreds of millions of dollars to pay the way the big boys do to get out of jail for the stupid shit that they don't get in trouble for. That we fucking asshole. Anyways, our regulators need to be thrown out on the fucking streets and lynched to some degree or another. Hold on. Let's not say that. I don't want to incite violence. The degradation that we've seen of our regulators is totally corrupt. They do not deserve to be where they are anymore, and they need to be replaced. The things like Ethereum contracts, this digital revolution is going to replace governments, and it's going to replace regulators over time. So get excited about that. Yes. Okay. Everything's looking great. For those of you, again, that are longtime fans of this channel, you'll know that both of these charts we've been looking at for months now. I do believe we're seeing kind of the final last stage backup for Ethereum before we go in a massive run, and Bitcoin in its early stages of its accumulation down. We might see another test here before we hit up against resistance, drop back down, again, very similar to our reaccumulation pattern here. So we had our primary support, our buying climax, our automatic rally, our secondary test, and we're bouncing around support right now. So I do suspect primary support, buying climax, primary shakeout, secondary automatic rally, secondary test, secondary test, secondary test. We'll probably get maybe one more of these, and then we're going to fire into resistance, and then we're going at hundreds of thousands of dollars of Bitcoin. And this game cannot be stopped. The retail the retail traders, and I guess I shouldn't even call them that anymore. Like the the intelligent individuals who are out there trying to make a living by trading and investing and following their intuition and studying and doing their homework, I commend you. I shouldn't even call you retail traders anymore. There's a big difference between the average person who buys at the exact high and sells at the exact low, and that's most people. And most hedge funds take advantage of that kind of retail trader. Wall Street Bets has access to everybody. And if you want, you can learn a lot by studying on the internet. And Wall Street Bets happens to be one of those places. I hope that the Arcane Bear, this channel, is also one of those places where you can come and learn how the markets work, because it is a very divisive industry. And to learn about it is to become more savvy and generally to become more profitable. So I think it's extremely important. Okay, so that's the first part of this episode. Thank you guys for joining us. The next part of this episode is where I look at your questions and I riff and rant off what you guys are saying. And I see over 1,000 in the current live chat. Again, guys, if you're new here, please give us a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. If you want, subscribe. We make a video every day where we don't normally yell and swear at big hedge funds, but today's a special day, so why not subscribe and hit that notification bell to stick around and see if you like the channel on the long term. I'd really appreciate your support. I have a goal of doing one live stream every day for the rest of the year. We are 27 days into this year, and I even did 2 videos yesterday. So sometimes you might get lucky and like get a gratuitous vlog where I'm looking at random bottoms that are not on the charts. Anyways, okay, this part of the episode is where we go over your guys' thoughts and questions. And I think the biggest conversation right now is kind of probably going to be around Wall Street Bets and this whole everything that's taking place about Robinhood right now. So please do your homework. Don't get caught in trades that are not profitable to you. Please remember to do your homework and due diligence. Again, a lot of the players here are using options and volatility contracts. They're not buying open stock. All that definitely helped move the price. These guys are generally playing with a much more sophisticated system, and options are a great way to do that. Okay. This is all going to end up in the open decentralized sector. So I love seeing the cracks in this dam. The So Grilla says, I subscribed right now. Thank you guys for that. I appreciate your support. Positions on Doge. So let's, again, let's go back to Doge here. I think there are better fundamentals in the tech sector. What I like about Doge, again, is that what you're witnessing right now is that markets don't rely on fundamentals. They simply rely on buying and selling pressure. Unless you were on that position earlier today, I would not enter it now. You're just going to get thrown around, most likely, because, again, you don't need much buy pressure to move the markets. There's an example we could make here right now. Calvin Smith says, you're a gangster. Here's $24. Calvin, I think we've got money in Kiva. We'll try to give that back to some underbanked, underserved entrepreneurs at the end of this episode. I think there are better investments than Dogecoin personally. Aave, Avalanche would be some of those. Aave is currently sitting at $297, absolutely exploding and looking like it's about to make another big explosion through its gradient box here. So again, for those of you that have been studying the horizontal trading ranges with us, you will know that this trade broke out just previously in the last horizontal trading range here that we had through the 18th, and it looks like it's about to do something very similar again. I would be a little weary because these are liquid products for a drop down, so leverage here is not a good choice, although if you are not an American citizen, you can play with options contracts if you're a more advanced trader, or if you're looking to be a more advanced trader, please study the shit out of these things before you play with them, because they're pretty much lose-win bets to some degree or another, and they're for at least the best case scenario, like educational purposes. That's the easiest way to think of this. So Aave has been absolutely explosive through its trading range, and again, if I were to compare it with something like Doge, there's no real fundamentals for Doge, and again, like I said, that doesn't matter. I'm not saying that actually matters. They're proving this right now. Underlying fundamentals don't make a goddamn difference. If people want to buy and sell an asset, they're going to drack the price up. So it's important to recognize that. And I think that's what a lot of retail investors are recognizing. Look at from the 28th, which is just the other day when they started talking about it, you see this massive explosion in price. Because again, underlying fundamentals don't mean anything. It doesn't matter. Buying and selling pressure on a market has nothing to do with what it is. It's just literally buy and sell pressure. You could have a no-name nothing coin on an ERC20 token. If it's illiquid, it's going to jack up the price with even $100,000 of buy pressure. So again, I'm not super interested in Doge, but what I'm most interested in here is the clear and present understanding of how markets work, because they are simple. I've said so many times, fundamentals don't make a goddamn difference. In the long term, if there's no supply and demand characteristics, well, absolutely, they make a difference. Because if people don't see anything happening or changing, well, then they're probably not going to put their money in there. And long-term supply and demand characteristics are actually usually defined somewhat by the use case of that product or service. So there are much better bets if you're new to the crypto sector. Again, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Link are our top players. They're our market industry movers, but again, they're the biggest of the bunch. We do have our venture capital sector, things like Wi-Fi, Aave, Band, Avalanche, Omisego, Bancor, Uniswap, KNC, nice, good to see, GRT, Graph, SushiSwap, up another 20% today. This all leads to decentralization. This whole Robinhood fiasco, the NASDAQ CEO, Adina, being an absolute cunt. I don't think I can get defamed for that. I should ask my lawyers about some of this stuff. Anyways, maybe I'll find out later today if I get, oh, I'm in Costa Rica, they can't do anything. And I'm not an American citizen. That's right, you. I hope so, at least. I don't know. I should probably ask some of those questions before I just start calling people names. I don't know. Is calling someone a cunt defamation? I don't think so. I hope not. Okay. So, yeah, okay. I'm going to keep going over some of your guys' thoughts and questions. Again, here, if you're new to the crypto sector, what Wall Street Bets is proving right now is that fundamentals don't make they're unimportant. They're absolutely unimportant. What the company does, unimportant. How much money they make, unimportant. If it's an illiquid product and people want to buy it, they're going to move the price. That's just the way the markets work. It's not illegal. It shouldn't be considered manipulation. It's literally how markets fucking work. I can't believe that it took like this big fiasco for people to realize it. But again, I'm so grateful for Wall Street Bets and everyone in that forum and all the players who are supporting the conversation around this right now, because it's probably the most important conversation about our nice. Mike Robbins says C-word is expressive. Yes, I'm not defamating Adina by calling her a cunt. I was a little worried there for a second. I'm like, I hope I don't have to take this video down. Like, I forget what defamation lies is like. I didn't call her a scammer, because I never said the NASDAQ is a scam, although they're making it look like it. They're not doing a great job of it appearing not to be. It's a term of endearment in some countries. Oh, well, that's good to know. I'm making a t-shirt that says Robinhood Fiasco. I absolutely love you guys. Again, thank you, Bear family. This is so much fun. I'm so impressed by what we're witnessing right now. It took me a minute to wrap my mind around it. I started at Wall Street Bets and I worked my way out from there. Again, unless you have a fairly good grasp of understanding the markets, which it does take to like get this, the easiest way, again, is to remember buy, sell. Buy pressure goes up, sell pressure goes down. And the retail traders almost always been taken advantage of by the big players, because the big players can sell with enormous amounts of pressure, and they make their money off the average investors buying at the wrong time because they're emotional. They usually don't know what they're doing. It's like some mom or dad just trying to get in the market and like play the game, and they buy Tesla at the high, and then the big people that, well, actually Tesla's a bad example because it's mostly bought by average people like me, because we saw the genius of Elon Musk. We're like, yeah, well, let's throw into this guy. Like, let's help him. Let's help the people that are actually making a difference in this world. Social media and videos like these need to be on a decentralized platform. Fuck censorship. I don't think we're going to get censored for this one. I definitely think we're going to get demonetized for how many times I've sworn. Oh, by the way, we've got Charles Hoskinson coming on the show on February 2nd. So we've got a 2-hour conversations with Charles Hoskinson. So that I'm looking forward to that. I always love learning, and I'm always trying to provide you guys more value through that learning process. So we've got a great day with Charles Hoskinson. Michael Saylor is definitely not going to change the game. Grayscale is buying more than an industry standard's worth of Bitcoin. Even if people figure out how to do it, Grayscale amounts to like hundreds of companies. Grayscale is already doing it. I don't know why you think like all of a sudden February 7th is going to be the day. Now, although on the other hand, if you do your homework and research, you'll see that Ethereum is probably going to get right to its breakout point on February 8th, which is the official day that CME futures open. And I believe that even the people that are playing on CME futures like Renaissance realize how valuable Ethereum is. Like Ethereum could literally replace all lawyers, all contracts over the next few years. That's a fucking enormous value. That's why people pay so much for gas fees, is because they're relying on the execution of a contract, which is equal to that of the amount that you would pay for a lawyer. Like if you hire a shitty lawyer, your contract is probably going to be as shitty as the lawyer. Remember that. If you sign a contract that's done by a good lawyer, well, you better be worried, because then that contract's going to be as tight as fucking air and there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, well, we're excited to have Charles Hoskinson on too. So be aware, February 2nd at 3 or 4 p.m. Mountain Time. Or hopefully a 2-hour live stream. I'm going in, I'm deep diving, I'm learning as much as I can right now to ask him more questions. So there, I'm really excited that I saw Paulie Apatia's interview on NBC twice. He got me excited. Thanks for existing from Italy. Yeah, great. Those links are down below. I'll share more of those links. I don't think you should be demonetized for swearing. I don't think I will be either, because I normally click that I swear. So I do often get payouts. They're just not as high because I do click that I swear. So I think I clicked that I swore in this video before. I hope so. I normally always do. So I may not have. Everything changes because I'm always resetting my computer and stupid shit like this. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't need YouTube AdSense to be like good at what I'm doing. I do well for my investing and trading. Our private group is starting to explode as well. We have a private newsletter and in investment. We look at venture capital. We go over all these types. It's like mostly like a mastermind, a group of a bunch of individuals. So if you want, join the club. Down in the links below. No risk guarantee. If you're not happy, we'll give you your money back, because we've only had like 5 people not happy out of the hundreds of private members we have. So check it out. Next thing, ask Charles some questions about hallucinogens. Okay, I will. I will save the very last questions for some like pretty far out stuff. And we'll go from there. I think it's super important to understand this stuff. Joined the private group yesterday, Esoteric Keras. Oh, I love it. Thank you. Hopefully our admins have talked to you already. Today feels like the electric guitar day. I haven't restrung either of the guitars yet, so we'll wait for that one. If I had to pick a coin to put money in, which would it be today? Definitely, guys, invest in the market leaders if you're looking for consistency through time, and that's both Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Trace, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Link. They together make this market. I like Ethereum more than I like Bitcoin right now. Ultimately, when Vitalik talks about solving problems of tragedy of the commons, I am like, my panties get wet, because one of the reasons why I invested in Bitcoin when it was $90 and $1,000 and $600 is because for the first time I saw voluntary money that wasn't controlled by big hedge funds, it wasn't controlled by banks, it wasn't controlled by governments, and you and I, the little guy, could choose our own money. Ethereum, quadratic funding, and what Vitalik talks about by solving problems for the tragedy of the commons seems to me way more exciting than Bitcoin. So currently I've been making bigger monthly moves into Ethereum. Yes. So go with that. Don't squirt. Yeah, not yet. Don't worry. We're going to save that for the end of the markets. We're going to get plenty juicy before. We could be going to hundreds of thousands of dollars per Bitcoin before I break out here. Have you heard of Flow? Blockto wallet? No. Although I do suggest checking out, Digifox and BlockFi as well. Links are down below. Join the Arcane Bear Den. I joined 2 days ago. It's affordable, and the community alone is very valuable and worth it. I really appreciate that, the Garden Prophet. Yeah, here we go. I can hit a little button. I think you'll go membership. There's the membership links, and here's the subscribe ones if you guys want to check it out. I really appreciate your support. It means a lot to me. Okay, so let's see. What would be a good strategy to pull out from, let's say, Binance into your bank account if you live in the US but are using a VPN? The best way, from what I can tell, would be to move from Binance to Coinbase or Gemini. If you're a US citizen, you're going to have to play by your tax laws. If you want, go to arcanebear.com and you can speak with my accountant. He's a rock star. He'll be happy to help you out. It's under resources, under crypto taxes or Bitcoin taxes. Check that out. Really, really important. Alex Kushner says, buy Bearcoin. Okay, so guys, first off, don't buy Bearcoin, but you can do whatever you want. I'm not allowed to stop you. We created our, well, I didn't create this, which is good because I'm keeping my hands clean of the whole process. But we have a community Bear token just for shits and giggles as well. I'll kind of show you guys this. And what I love about this is it shows what it is to be comp man. So I could go in here right now. I could, let's see. What do I have in here? I could go in, I could drop this $700 I have on Ethereum on Bear token, and the price would go bloop up to 90 cents. And this is basically what's happening with Dogecoin. In a very small illiquid market, something like the Bear token, which is, again, don't buy it. It's a personal community experiment. We're doing yield farming on it. We're going to build a DAO with it. It's just so I can experiment, or so our community of the Bear family can experiment with technology. We also use it so that if you want to get discounted memberships, this is how you do so. So if you want to get a 30% discounted membership, what you do is you go buy Bear token. It's at 80 cents, and you pay that would be 370 Bear token. Basically, you'd have to buy to get a year membership for a 20% discount. So we created this just to play around and experiment with the technology. It's for the community to play with. I have to legally tell you not to buy it, but you guys can do whatever you want. Anyways, we're just playing around with the tech. I'm not afraid to experiment. In fact, I've built my whole life off taking risks on experimenting. So again, you guys can do whatever you want, but I have to legally tell you not to some degree, because it just doesn't make sense. Unless you want to buy a membership, in which case go ahead, buy some Bear token, because we'll give you a discount on your membership by using the Bear token itself, because we accept Bear. Bear is greater than Doge. I would have to agree with that. The features that we have via yield farming and the DAO that we're going to hopefully be able to build out of it too. Because again, I didn't create the token, so there's a huge risk off my back. And I don't sell the token, another huge risk off my back. And I tell you not to buy it, so all three risks off my back. It's not going to go out like the disclaimers on this thing are ridiculous. I don't know if anyone cares. Maybe I'll show you guys. Maybe I'll read the disclaimers later. Anyways, don't buy it. Don't fuck around. Unqualified risks exist for everyone. If you're unqualified and you don't like risks, don't play around with our experimental technology. That's basically, in short, what it is. Anyways, okay. Yeah, we have a Bear token. Thanks, Alex. I appreciate that. I thought it was fun. It's like a Dogecoin. Okay. Take a look here. Thoughts on Robinhood? Yeah, I think Robinhood should be pushed into the ground. They do not deserve to exist after this, when they've totally defamed their own. Who runs by a market? Where did I go here? They don't even deserve the attention of me looking at it. That's how useless they are now. But look guys, when you have democratizing finance for all, and then you do the exact opposite of that, you should get banned or something. I don't know. You should not be allowed to exist as a company. That's what I think. I don't think Robinhood should exist. That's my personal sentiment. Stuffa says, Tio, I love you. I love you too, Stuffa. Thank you for the support. Windsurfer says, I've watched Tio for a few years now. He gives some of the best knowledge. Thank you, guys. I'm just trying to share my learning process. I really appreciate being able to do this. It means the absolute world to me that we can grow and learn together, that we can make mistakes, that we can experiment, we can play in this new technological sector, and like learn about stuff. I couldn't say it any better than that. They've just destroyed themselves, dude. I can't believe it. I can't believe it either. It's absolutely useless. I'm new here. Where to buy Bearcoin? Nice, from Ben. Okay, so Ben, this is kind of fun. If you're new here, you go to Uniswap. For those of you guys that don't know what Uniswap is a place where you can buy and sell, and they can never buy you. Like, Wall Street Bets needs to figure out who the fuck Uniswap is, basically. So on Uniswap, if you type in Bear, it will show up Bear to ETH pair. And then at the top it says trade or add liquidity. If you add over 0.777 Ethereum plus equal Bear, you will automatically be joined into our yield farming pool. But that's, for more advanced users who are signing off to the unqualified risks exist. You take all legal disclaimers to take responsibility for your own shit. I am not liable for any dumb things that happen or might happen or price movements. It's just an experiment. So again, if you want to buy Bear token for a membership, on the other hand, you'd click the trade button, and you can trade Ethereum for Bear, and then you email info@arcanebear.com, and they will get you set up for your yearly membership for the discounted price of around 20%. So if you buy 370 Bear, you'll get 20% off effectively from your yearly membership. So it's kind of a fun way to both experiment, learn more, and get a discount for joining the Bear group. Yeah, so try it out if you want, or don't. I don't care. I don't know how legally able I am. I know I can tell you to use it for discounts on the membership. That's what I know I can legally say, because that's its utility. Like, its main utility, aside from the fact that we're fucking around with yield farming and like DAO governance of what the token does in the future, has nothing to do with its main utility, which is you can use it for discounted services on anything in our store. You want to buy it's not an Arcane Bear t-shirt, but we do have Arcane Bear t-shirts. If you go to arcanebear.shop, arcanebear.com/shop or whatever. If you want to buy that, you buy the bear token, you message info at arcanebear.com, and we accept bear token. And anyways, that's again a different point. So thank you guys for having interest in the bear token. It's a beautiful community experiment we've been able to play around with. So I'm grateful that we have that opportunity to mess around. You are a great presenter. Favorite show so far. I need to join the group. I think my girlfriend would like it too. Awesome, Ryvi. I really appreciate that. You guys, what's crazy, since you mentioned that your girlfriend appreciating the group, I've looked at the YouTube demographics and we have like 10% female that watch this show, which in the tech sector is ridiculous. So I want to, for all the women out there, I want to congratulate you on being so amazingly emotionally, so much more mature and responsible than all of us crazy men who just, we're good at running against brick walls to break down the brick wall. But thank you to all the women who support this show as well. I really appreciate that. It makes me feel great that we have such an eclectic, because I think on YouTube in general, it's only like 20% women. So the fact that we're able to connect with the very small demographic of women that like to come listen to random weirdos like me talk about technical shit. And again, I'm not trying to like pigeonhole anyone, you know. There are a lot of women who are like way better at tech than me. Like follow Morgan Codes on Instagram, someone who's way smarter than I am in tech, right? I'm not, it's just, anyways, I don't even get in the conversation. Chamath for governor, I appreciate. Only Fool Riding says most genuine T-guy ever, not just pimpered leverage trader. I feel so sorry for people that watch, I'm not even going to name their YouTube channels, and they're like, they think that leverage trading is easy. They're like, oh yeah, if you just trade with leverage at 10x and it goes up 10%, you've made 100%. But what they don't tell you is if it goes down 10%, you lost your entire fucking leverage trade. They never once say that, but they make all the money off of you losing your trades. We don't do that. What we like to do is go over to platforms like Kiva. If you've never visited Kiva, go to kiva.com. Links are down below to join our team, arcanebear.com/Kiva. Kiva is a non-profit organization that makes loans to underbanked and underserved entrepreneurs around the world. And right now I'm going to sign into Kiva, so you have to look at my face for just a second here while I do this. And we're going to make a loan to Kiva today to an underbanked and underserved entrepreneur. These are no APY loans. So these are people around the world in countries like Zimbabwe who could never get a loan from the bank because they're just not qualified to do so. And Kiva goes out with their field partners and makes loans to these entrepreneurs, and then you get paid back. So the loan that we're making today, in about 6 months, we'll get paid back. Oh my God, I only have 15 bucks in here right now. I'm going to have to make more money. So add credit, guys. Just give me a second while I add like another 100 bucks in credit to Kiva here or something. We'll find an entrepreneur, we'll make a loan to them, but I'm just logging in, I'm adding credits, and then I'll show you guys how Kiva works. I really guys think you should join Kiva. You can join the Arcane Bear team and we can all make loans together. I think it's super important. So I saw any of you guys that make super chats. What I do with those super chats is I go to Kiva and then I loan them. So now that the payment's been added, we can go back to BTC share, we can go back to screen share. So again, this is our Kiva account. We just added another 100 bucks. This month alone, we've lent out $1,000. Under the Arcane Bear team, together, we've now we have 24 members under the Arcane Bear team and $1,850 loaned this month. And we are now business number 2. Thank you guys. We're now the second biggest loaner for loaner? Lender? There we go. It sounds less derogative. We're the second biggest lender of businesses on Kiva right now because of your guys' support. So we're going to go in here. We're going to find, since we were talking about how much we appreciate women supporting the show, we're going to find a woman. Let's see here. Maram from Palestine. Let's check out her story. Okay, great. She's got enough stars by her field lender. So Maram is a wonderful, hardworking woman who tries her utmost to provide for a family with a decent life. She's a 36-year-old refugee, a mother of 3 adorable kids with her family from Tulkaram in West Bank. She started working as a seamstress in order to help work with her husband and the family expenses, and she turned to Palestine for credit development and Fatin to request a loan to buy a new sewing machine, yarn, silk, and fabric for her work. This will improve her family and living standards, and she hopes that you can help by funding her team. So thank you guys for the super chats today. We're going to give 50 bucks to Maram right now, and then we're also going to make a small loan to Kiva. She's got 29 days to go. We're gonna complete the order of $7.50 as a donation to Kiva that we can write off as our tax write-off at the end of the year. And then I'm going to share that on Twitter. So if any of you guys want, again, follow us on Twitter and join in and maybe help fund Maram there. So thank you guys all for joining the Arcane Bear channel. I really love that we get to do this stuff, that via the collaborations, because of your guys' support. we get to do all this fun, amazing stuff together. I'm so grateful. Like at the end of the day, when I see that we're the #2 business on Kiva, that blows me away. We're some random small YouTube channel who's just trying to help a nonprofit that happens to work in the sector that we like, which is helping the underbanked and the underserved, which for me was always what the blockchain and crypto sector was about. Okay, thank you guys. Next questions. We're all loners. I've been watching similar videos from different YouTubers. This guy sounds really genuine. I admire you. Thank you. Neil Aria, I appreciate the comments. Again, I'm just trying my best to share my growth and my learning experience and my admiration for you guys for supporting this channel, because without you, we wouldn't be able to do this stuff. And I'm really excited that because of the little successes like this that we get, the super chats that you guys drop, the fact that we have 30,000 subscribers now, we can make loans like this, and it's part of like our monthly revenue and our marketing budget because of the super chats and all the other stuff that we do. So thank you guys. Together we're basically helping change people's lives together. I can't thank you enough for what this means for me as an individual trying to build like a conscious, mission-driven business, because it's fucking hard. Anyways, next thing. TO is transparent, just like the blockchain. No, I have look. There's some days where you guys would not like me. I'm like fucking goddamn fucking stupid shit. Everyone's like breaking. Like it's so out of the fucking. My electricity's not working. Like I don't always hold my shit together. Like you guys get a really refined version of me when I'm on YouTube. So, this is so great. I'm so glad to be a part of the group, helping people. I just came to this live. Sorry if I missed out, but can you talk whether I should just hodl my Doge longer or sell them? Lady May, very interesting question. If you're up in your Doge play, I wouldn't hold on to it. Fundamentally speaking, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Link are our big players. For those of us like myself and others in this group who have been focused on the tech sector for many years, we specifically focus on the bigger players and venture capital. Although I think what Wall Street Bets is doing with Doge is ultimately interesting, you don't want to be stuck holding the bag. So if you're up in profits, I would suggest taking them and start to do more study and research. And please subscribe and like this channel. And support us by continuing to grow your education, because investing is difficult. It takes time, and you should be aiming at a decade-long like field study where all you do is invest for the next 10 years, and you'll be successful. You'll be very successful. Go Bear Den. Everyone join our team. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you for the support. I hope to see more of you guys on Kiva as well. Joe says, absolutely watch all of our material, like and sub. I've been following for years and I can't recommend the Bear Den more enough. Breaking 33,000. Oh, boom. Great. Good to see. Again, ultimately, guys, I've been saying I'm bullish on Bitcoin this whole time, while every other YouTuber is like, oh, we're going to 20 grand. We're going to 50 grand. We don't know where we are. Well, I feel very confident, and I don't want to sound like a dick, but I feel very confident that we're in the lower part of a trading range that is known as reaccumulation. And if you guys go do your homework, I think that you will be consistently more confident about with where we are too. I'm accumulating more Bitcoin, and I would like to see one more secondary test here. As you can see, I've drawn it in. I would like to see it not go below the trading range this next time, and then I will be doubling in. We might actually see like this. Let's see. We'll draw it in here. Let's get rid of my drawings. I think we might see it like this, right up to the top of the trading range, maybe a wick below. One more secondary test where we no longer go below the primary trading range, and then we're going to run into resistance up here at around 40 grand, real motherfucking fast. You have some of the world's biggest players now interested in this sector, and I bet you Wall Street Bets is going to be figuring out very quickly that the decentralized nature of things like Uniswap and the fact that you can buy and sell and nobody can stop you from buying and selling is going to become the new place to play. It may take months, years, but it will become the place to play. It's absolutely amazing. So be sure to stay focused on the tech sector. Unless you're more interested in mushrooms, and focus on that. Let's see here. What is the name of the volume indicator on the right? This is the volume profile. This is part of the pro version only. It is not necessary to have, but see right now you can see the point of control. This is showing me that there's a smaller trading range with an extreme amount of buying and selling volume going on right here. This is really building our floor. This is the new floor, and this is what's going to propel us much higher when we move next. Part of Pro, if you want, arcanebear.com/trading view, you can sign up and get a 30% discount by using our links. You can sign up for Bitcoin or Binance and BlockFi, and all those links are down below. So help support the channel. I don't know. Or not. It's up to you guys. I love you. I love you either way. Okay. More questions. You can buy GME again on eToro. Yeah, I'm not interested in general stocks. I think they're boring compared to the tech sector. I believe inevitably the entire stock market will run on things like Ethereum, because what you saw was wrong in GME was that big players had taken out 143% leverage options or put positions on those, and they shouldn't have been able to do that. That's technically considered illegal. They probably did it because of a miscommunication between brokerage houses and blah blah blah. But basically, the big players were getting away with doing something illegal, hurting a fucking mom and pop's business, which is absolutely disgusting and despicable, and they should be fined massively for it. Or we should just give the same rules to the retail investors, which, yeah, buying and selling pressure is not manipulation. You should be allowed to collaborate, and I promote. I promote Wall Street Bets. Definitely join that Reddit group. It's super powerful, and it's another great learning resource. Robinhood is an absolute fail, yes. Can Bear token be mined? It can be yield farmed. So if you buy, like, I think if you have, if you buy, well, again, a tricky conversation. If you study what yield farming is, if you have over 0.777 of Ethereum and the equivalent amount of Bear, and you add that to the liquidity pool in Uniswap every month, someone else, not me, rewards the liquidity providers. So you can do yield farming. I don't know what our APY percent is, because again, we're going to do a governance version of the token too, where token holders that are staking will be able to vote on what it is that they want. So we're trying to build in all the same things Wi-Fi does, but again, this is just a fucking experiment. It's not designed to be of any value. We're just playing around with the technology. So if you want to join the experiment, you're more than welcome to do so. But understand, there's significant risks involved. This token is not worth anything, right? It's just a utility token, and the main utility is that you can get discounted memberships. But we're experimenting, so I don't know what the fuck that means. Anyways, because I'm allowed to legally experiment. We are all allowed to legally experiment. Luckily, thank God. Google no likey, mushrooms. Mushies, yay. We are still in the accumulation range for Ethereum. Yes, we've gone over that. Yes, we are still in the accumulation range for Ethereum. DeFi fever, Cardano is coming. Yeah, Charles Hoskinson on February 2nd. Yeah, I don't. It's a good thing that you can't see Jajo's comments here, because he has absolutely no idea what he's talking about. People like Crypto can't move the markets, not in Bitcoin, not in Ethereum, because you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars of buy pressure. I'm just going to actually hide this person's comments, because they don't even know what they're saying. Hide user on this channel, and they're trying to spam the chat too. I don't like that. Buy Dogecoin? No, I don't. I mean, again, guys, if you want to play around with the Wall Street Bet stuff and play with Dogecoin, like, no one can stop you. I think it's a really interesting idea to see. Bitcoin is going parabolic, but how long? I think we're going to like hundreds of thousands of dollars per Bitcoin, personally. Best place to learn technical. All the free resources on the internet, or join our private group on the links that we just posted below. This channel and its host are amazing. Thank you, Jared. I appreciate the kind sentiments and comments. Waiting for 2 years for this Doge trade to fulfill. Almost sold at a loss quite a few times. Dogecoin will never hit $1 because there's 124 billion supply. Yeah, Dogecoin is not like the place you should be playing. But what I like about this, again, guys, is that all of this GameStop nonsense ultimately brings people to this sector in a big, big way over the coming years. What's your price target for Uni? I'm not sure. Uniswap is, again, another brilliant solution, because Uniswap, unlike Robinhood, can't stop you from trading. They're a decentralized market maker. They're absolutely brilliant. Again, once Wall Street Bets figures this stuff out, they're coming to our sector, baby. So being here first is being prepared. Why, when all the big boys like Grayscale are buying so much like Bitcoin, why does the chart not move that much? That's because they're really good at accumulating properly, so not to drive the price up during their accumulation cycle, because you don't want to buy it for more when you can accumulate more off retail investors who are panic selling because they're emotional when we're down this low. Oh my God, I bought Bitcoin at 40 grand and now it's down to 30. I'm going to sell. I don't know how many kids were like, I lost $150. Should I sell Bitcoin now? It's like, no, motherfuckers. That's exactly how hedge funds take advantage of you. It's like the whole important part of understanding this GameStop conversation is that you get fucked by the big players because they know how to play the game better than you. So you have to learn how to play like them. And this is why we study the Wyckoff analysis, is so you can know how the big players accumulate. And the big players accumulate through time, so they don't jack the price up all at once. Once they've accumulated and they've tested the supply, then they'll jack the price up. And we probably need one more secondary test. We may not get that. Look, I still have a floating secondary test here. But that's how they do it. Man, you embody decentralization, sharing, giving, and support the unbanked. Thank you. I appreciate this. Guys, I love that we can do this together. It seriously means the world to me. When will be a good time to buy Ether 88? I'm not going to answer those questions, but we do have Charles Hoskinson coming on the show on February 2nd, so check that out. Do you have a list of your favorite books for trading, otherwise in the group? Or otherwise in the group? Yes, Reminiscence of a Stock Operator is absolutely amazing. I love Nassim Taleb's books because he's an options trader and he brings a lot of mathematics and philosophy to the understanding of markets. How are you seeing the Bitcoin chart? Will it drop again? Yeah, please just listen to what I've said in every video since we've started would be good. Since March, you can listen back to every video and I've said the exact same thing. I think we're going to $280,000, $380,000, and right now we're going to go higher. And even if it goes lower, just shut the fuck up and buy more. Don't be a fool. Like you won't care. You just keep buying. You can keep accumulating. Just learn how to play like the big boys. Top 3 mind-bending investment books. I went over those already. Should I buy some Bitcoin now? Not investment advice, but if you don't own any Bitcoin, the best time to buy it is right now, yes. But not investment advice. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. You're responsible for your own goddamn decisions. Yay, I'm swearing so much in this video. I'm hyper passionate today. Thoughts on XLM? Okay, I'll take a look at XLM. What is your top picks for 5 market cap end of year? My big plays right now: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Band, Aave, Link, shit, what were the, Avalanche. I'm trying to remember. It's like Avalanche. Some of these names look so similar in ticker symbols. I'm like AV, AX, UNI, WFY or WFI, Wi-Fi, Uniswap. Okay. Basically, the DeFi sector is my entire venture capital portfolio at the moment. And you can also go over that. I think the DeFi perpetuals is another great way to market and chart this in general. As you can see, we've been following this accumulation path. As soon as we had the touch of our top of our trading range, we've seen another big breakout. I do suspect that the DeFi sector is going to fucking explode in March. We're going to hit this range here at around 7,000 for the whole sector, and then DeFi is going to melt people's faces like Slash and Buckethead. So thank you guys for helping me fix that. Yeah, I love Avalanche. I said AVAX already. DOT is in there as well. Yes, in our private group, I've shared my portfolio. Probably don't get emotional, wait for the dips. Don't even worry about dip buying. If you know anything about market sentiment, dip buying doesn't make a goddamn difference. You're just a pansy if you're dip buying. You should buy every time you have excess capital because you'll win way better than the dip buyers, because the dip buyers fail most of the time. They get far too emotional. Unless you're really good at trading, in which case then you can don't even dollar cost average. Guys, please go watch my video from 2 or 3 days ago where we go over the way to best time the market. As a matter of fact, I could probably even go over this right now. Market timing by Schwab. Yeah, okay. Does market timing work? So if you go back to a few days ago, I did a video called How to Time the Market Perfectly, and it goes over 5 different marketing styles. You've got Matthew Monthly, who is the dollar cost averager, and he is less profitable than Ashley Action, who just invests the moment she has money. Dollar cost averaging is bullshit. Just invest when you have the money to do so, as long as it doesn't fuck up the rest of your monthly revenue, like, oh, I gotta buy diapers for my kids and I gotta pay my rent and my electricity. Don't fuck that shit up. As long as you've got the extra capital, spend it as soon as you get it and get it into the markets and invest in the big players, invest in the market movers. And then if you're crazy and you like doing research like myself, invest in venture capital plays. But dollar cost averaging is a waste of time in comparison with Ashley Action. She does significantly better. And again, please go back and look at the other day's video called How to Time a Market Perfectly. And at this moment, subscribe and like the channel, because right now we have over 1,100 viewers on this live stream. And the goal is to basically just blow up this channel. I want to get to 100,000 subscribers. We just broke 30,000. I don't know. I'm just making up irrational goals in my mind because it's fun to do so. So thank you guys all for joining us. But definitely go back and watch that video I did the other day, because you'd be surprised that Ashley Action, the person who just invests at the earliest possible moment, does better than the person who's trying to time the market by buying the dips, as comparison with the person who's just monthly investing on dollar cost averaging. Ashley Action is the best because it allows you to go out snorkeling, scuba diving, hang out with your family, and do all the important things that you want to do. Dogecoin, again, we went over Dogecoin in the earlier part of this video. It has no underlying fundamentals. It's up really high. But again, what we're seeing now is the importance of how markets work, which is you're literally witnessing buy and sell characteristics. Although if Dogecoin is what Wall Street's bets continue to focus on, who knows where it could go? Maybe throw some money in there. You're not afraid to lose. Use it as a learning lesson. If you want to spend money on learning, putting it in the markets is one of the best things you can do. Yeah, Fat Tony's wrong. Just period. Fat Tony's wrong. He doesn't understand that people that have billions of dollars know better than he does, and he thinks he's smart. But sorry, Fat Tony, you're not. You don't have billions of dollars. If you did, you'd know that I was correct. I invested 10K of Bitcoin at 40 grand. Now you're down 3. Well, that's because you're a pansy, Tony, and you haven't been here long enough. You're supposed to think about investing on a 10-year basis. You didn't invest. You bought something and you got emotional. So you're not down 3K. You still have the same amount of Bitcoin. You have the same amount of Bitcoin. Don't get that wrong. You should probably back up your platform on other channels. Yeah, they're not going to hit YouTube. They're not going to hit crypto channels because it's too dangerous. It's just not the way it goes. They already tried to do that in 2017. They weren't able to get away with it. You can't advertise crypto. So, right, we don't advertise it. We suggest you don't buy it. We suggest you never invest in anything. Don't be irresponsible. But if you're going to do it, here's all the resources that you can do to make your own responsible decisions. It is not best to save and wait for a massive dip. It's again, you have if you listen to the people in the chat, you're listening to people who have a very small amount of. And sorry, Fat Tony, I don't mean to make fun of you. It's just when you need to understand the long-term assessment strategy here, which is again buying on the consistently when you have excess capital. So I'm not like actually bragging on you. I'm just kind of making an example of the momentum in the case. And again, go back and watch the other video. I'll maybe even drop this Schwab resources in the chat right now. Go read this article. It'll be highly engaging for all of you to learn and study this stuff. So I just dropped a link for that Schwab article. Please check it out. Okay, so I'm seeing you guys. A few more questions. Thoughts on 0x? Again, for things like 0x, guys, I don't even have to look at the chart. And what I can tell you is it would fit in my venture capital bag, which is that I expect that it could be worth nothing, or it could be worth hundreds of times more in general, or thousands of times more. So what I do is I limit my venture capital investments based off that. What am I willing to lose over the next 5 or 10 years on that investment? If it actually starts to become more successful, then I lean into that position, right? I've been leaning into Avalanche for this reason, because I think they have amazing technology. But in terms of like looking at all these other tokens, like can you confirm ADA pump and stuff like this, please join us on tomorrow's episode. We're pretty long into today's stream. And don't worry, Fat Tony, just be patient and keep entering the game. Can you take a look at RSR? Okay, well, you gave us $10, so I'm going to do it. If you guys give us super chats, I feel obligated a little bit, like it's like, okay, because that money goes to Kiva. That's how we help fund those underbanked, underserved entrepreneurs. So if you're paying me to help fund Kiva, then I'll definitely look at something. If you're just asking the question, then I'm less likely because, it doesn't do anything for Kiva. If you join Kiva and you could show me that you lent money to them, like some of you guys have lent thousands of dollars to Kiva, then I'll definitely look at what you want. We're just trying to help out the underbanked and underserved with those things. So, okay, RSR. I have no idea what it does. I have no idea why someone would want me to look at it, but we will take a look at it because you guys are helping fund our Kiva campaign. Okay, RSR. I almost thought that said Reddit. That's pretty funny. RSR to Tether. Yeah, the whole DeFi sector is about to explode, guys. Oh, we've gone over this a few times. Okay. Just in general, we've seen a lot of momentum out of these for how much it's grown. It looks weak. You want to follow the ones that are strong. So, for instance, RSR is not interesting to me right out the gate because why would you invest in RSR when you have Aave, who since November has printed a 900% return? Follow the market leaders, guys. Aave has very quickly moved into one of the market leaders. Like, look at that. It's above Wi-Fi now for me. So keep that in mind. I follow the market leaders and I invest in the ones who are doing well. Wow, Proppy Manic says over multiple years I've donated over $50,000 to Kiva. Proppy Manic, you get a shout out and a high five for that. High five, Proppy Manic. I appreciate that. Kiva is the shit. I love that you did that. Ryv says, I told my girlfriend that venture capital investment should only be a small part of our portfolio. ETH is king for us now. Yeah, definitely. You want to invest in the big players, and as you see the clarity of that venture capital become more consistent, then you can continue to invest in them. Fat Tony says, I'm not mad. I bought 10,000 or 10 Bitcoin when it dropped to $3,000. Great work. Yeah, well, see, here's the other thing. If you see moments and you're there and you can execute, then do that as well. That's the same strategy, which is just invest immediately if you have the extra capital. Some of you do. Some of you guys are consistently working on like bigger businesses. Like I manage multiple. I have a beverage company. I own some SEO websites. Now the Arcane Bear apparently is like a growing company I didn't expect. Plus my trading and my investing. Fat Tony says, thanks to professionals like this guy. Well, don't call me a professional. Like, hold on. I'm just a weirdo who lives out in the middle of the jungle. And for those of you that don't know, this is what it looks like in the jungle right now. Boom. There you go. You can see the Costa Rica jungles. You can see that I live pretty much in the middle of nowhere, basically. Thank God I've got fiber internet though, right, guys? Okay, I just wanted to show you that. Just don't call me a professional. Maybe I felt like a little insulted. I'm not a professional. I'm the kid who dropped out of school to study psychedelics and take ayahuasca. I'm like the opposite of a professional. But I'm good at what I do. I do think I'm good at what I do. And that's just trying to experiment, take risks, and learn more about what's going on. So thank you. I live in Costa Rica. And I'm now officially a resident as of February 14th. So super excited about that. Follow the big players. Holy shit, what a view, says Fat Tony. Fat Tony, wait, is your name from the book Nassim Taleb as well? Fat Tony, if you've never read the book by Nassim Taleb, Fooled by Randomness and Skin in the Game, there's a character called Fat Tony. You may have already read it. That could be where the name's from. I am in Costa Rica, not Peru. Hola from Pozos de Santa Ana. Hola, hermano, gracias. Where did you go to school? I dropped out in grade 10. So basically, I didn't go to school. To the streets. Silver shorts is the next target for GameStop, guys. So we were looking at silver earlier, and I've made some conjecture around why silver is not the same. I don't think they're going to be as successful. The difference between silver and GameStop's is that silver is an unknown supply characteristic, where GameStop had a specific liquid supply in the markets. So it's a different player. I wouldn't look at them the same. I wouldn't look at silver and GameStop the same. I don't think they'll have the same effect. That's my personal opinion. I could be wrong though. Let's take a look at silver, just because I could be wrong. But again, silver, they're mining out of the ground, so there's always more of it. Whereas GameStop had a very set liquid supply of their stock, which means it's easier to jump in and play the game with. Because they're always mining new silver and you don't have the same characteristics of being able to jack a price up. So even though they're going to try to do that, I don't think it's going to work out the same. I think they've missed, if they have, they may have miscalculated understanding how the silver markets work to some degree or another. What do you think of Reef? That will be going out in our private members group probably this next week as well. So if you want, join our private members group or make a super chat, and I'll definitely look at it. But for tonight, guys, that's it. Over 1,100 people on the live stream, a bunch of super chats. We made a $50 donation to Kiva because of your guys' super chats as well, helping out another underbanked and underserved entrepreneur. This deal with the Arcane Bear. Remember, guys, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. Please share these videos if you think they're valuable. Remember to hit that notification bell, because we'll be doing a live video every day. And even though I didn't go over Reef and some of the other ones you guys asked, I usually do because I have more time. Today was a really long time where I ranted and I talked a lot, and my voice is like, it's time for the beach. It's almost sunset. I want to go jump and swim in the ocean and watch the beautiful awesomeness. So I appreciate all your guys' support. Again, remember, join our private group. There's no risk to that. If you have got questions that I didn't answer, come back tomorrow, and I always do my best to go through as many community questions, even if you guys didn't give us a super chat. It's just today was a long episode. So thank you. I really appreciate your support. This is Tia with the Arcane Bear. You guys make what I do possible. So I'm very deeply grateful for that. I had a lot of fun today. It was a lot of fun to riff and rant. You guys are asking for me to close out the day with the flute. I will do that. For those of you that don't know and you're new here, we usually end the episode on these live streams with a little bit of music because it's always a good way to calm the soul. And remember that the markets, there's always another trade, and you should be thinking in decades. So we end with a little bit of a native flute. This is made by a company called High Spirits. You can find them online if you want to buy a flute. They're like $100 or $2. And now we're going to play, let's see, something in, let's go with a major tone today. Boom. Thank you guys all for supporting us. We love that we get to be able to share these eclectic moments with you. It's a hell of a time to be in the markets. Again, I want to applaud all the Wall Street Bets characters and everyone who basically threw their middle fingers up to the hedge funds in the GameStop plays with their options and call contracts. I think it is fantastic to bring these ideas to market light, and I couldn't be more grateful for seeing it be done right in the face of the mainstream. I hope that this changes and we start to see new regulations that are for everybody instead of just for the few, and who basically take advantage and have been taking advantage of the retail investor for almost 100 years. And the first time the retail investor fights back, they get dinged. That's unacceptable. So I hope we get over that. Todd Lander, what I love about people like Todd Lander is they don't realize how useless they are in life. So bye, Todd Lander. You'll never be allowed to comment on this channel again. I hope you enjoyed our show, guys. If you say any stupid shit, I just ban you because it's my prerogative to do so. So remember that. It'll just get you banned. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Bam.